You might remember Jihad Jane. She's an American citizen that was convicted of terrorism-related crimes a few years ago. As a female, she really stuck out to a lot of people. But now we're hearing more and more stories like Jihad Jane, like the females who participated in the attacks in Paris, as well as in San Bernardino. Joining me now to talk about this is Dr. Carla Greco Manley. She's a clinical psychologist who specializes in women's issues. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Now, are male jihadists just becoming more accepting of females participating in terrorist groups, or do you think women really are becoming more violent?
I think it's actually both, Danielle. Women in historically have been in the background in wars, and now that they're moving more to the forefront, women are taking on the more aggressive roles, depending upon the culture that they come from. Certain cultures have long advocated women's participation. In the U.S., women, especially with the Secretary of State's recent decisions, women are moving more to the forefront.
Now, you've got a theory you call women evolving violently. Tell us a little bit about that.
What I find in my private practice is that women are coming in to see me with a great deal of confusion about how to act. They're not certain if to take the more traditionally passive caregiving role or whether to take the more aggressive roles, whether it's in home life or in business life. And so there's a lot of confusion on the part of both men and women in what's involved in these changing roles.
I was going to ask you, how does this affect men? Are they becoming more nurturing?
That's a good question. I think some men are definitely becoming more nurturing and more comfortable with caregiving roles. I think that women, too, many women really relish the nurturing caregiving role, yet they're finding that with their increase in power socially, they're confused. How do I act? Whether in my business world, how do I act at home? What should I do? Who should I be? Do I take an aggressive role? Do I take an assertive role? And many women are resorting to taking passive aggressive roles, and it doesn't serve them or men.
Now, I've used the example of women becoming more radicalized as an example, but what's some of the violence that females participate in that you've personally seen?
Women tend to act out more in their environments rather than outside in social settings. And I'm finding that women are confusing. There are five communication styles, and women are tending to confuse being aggressive with being assertive. And as women walk that fine line in determining how to become assertive without being aggressive, that's the place where I see most of the room where women take a step toward being violent and acting out, whether it's throwing a hairbrush, throwing a coffee cup, slapping someone when they wouldn't normally have done that.
Do you think this increased violence by females represents a generational shift in attitudes toward violence?
I do think that that's involved to a large extent as women look for role models of how to be in a more aggressive world and in a more assertive world. They tend to model themselves after men, and men tend to be more aggressive, and that's the model that women are following.
Okay, we've just got a few seconds left. Is this trend likely to continue?
It appears so until somebody is able to educate women on how to be more assertive, take a role in society that allows both a caregiving role and a nurturing role, as well as being assertive without being aggressive. Then it will continue, unfortunately.
Okay. All right, doctor, what a fascinating discussion. Great to have you on. Mark, back
Thank
to
you.
you.